Hi everyone, it's Mish.
And Mark.
I guess you can see from the background, you know where we are.
Yes, we're in a hotel in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Better known as our house.
Yeah, we finally made it home and we came in this morning and it's been a crazy, tiring day.
Jump off.
Okay.
We're right back to the scene of the crime.
This was
The great,
exactly
we'll
where
call
we
it the Great Spill Incident.
What does that mean?
You figure that out.
Spill? Oh.
The Great Spill Incident.
Oh.
With the evidence.
Okay. So, this is the story. You might be wondering, what does the Great Spill Incident mean? So, we were in Michigan yesterday, and we had left Michigan on our way to Sault Ste. Marie to stay the night, and lo and behold, my bag was left behind because we had to take out our passports to cross the border at Sault Ste. Marie. So when we arrived at the hotel, after we crossed the border, everything, we were taking out our stuff, we realized that the bag was missing. And the reason why we went through this is because Mark was drinking a pop and he put it on the ground, and I back up and behind me, and I didn't realize, and then it spilled. And so we were concentrating more on the spill rather than my bag. And so I went inside, used the washroom, came back out, Then we saw this truck, as you might have seen in the video. It was 69 years old. Truck is 69 years old. And so we were more concerned about the truck that's so old rather than even the bags. And here we are again. We had to come back to Michigan from our hotel, cross the border. Okay, some people are making noises on the bikes. So we had to cross the border, come back to Michigan to get my bag. And here we are. The bag is intact. And guess what he's getting? What's that black thing on it? That's my dirty underwear.
They checked it out. They saw your fancy silky underwear and went, ooh.
That's not even a clean underwear.
Well, I know, because
that's a dirty underwear sticking out.
I know, because he sniffed it and he said, He said,
So that's the
give
bag.
Give your bag a hug. You came 3 hours back. Give it a hug.
Actually, guys, give Mark a round of applause because he traveled all this way.
No, I'm going to give this person a round of applause. If they can move their vehicle. Watch the bike, baby. Hold on to this. Hold on to your bag so it doesn't go missing. I got to move the bike.
Yeah. So
right back to the scene of the crime.
Yeah, was this the... Are you sure we were here? Yeah. No, we were here and the other thing was right there. Yeah. Wow. That's crazy. And we end up right at the same what do you call it? The same Yeah, we ended up at the same what is this called? Same pump. Yes. So scene of the crime, and we have to get gas again. So we thank God for
AJ. He even said he came in this morning, and when he came in he saw a bag. He goes, "That bag sitting there? I wonder what that is."
You didn't know?
No, he didn't bother coming to check because he had to open up the
Oh, you
place.
saw AJ in there?
AJ's in there.
Wow.
Yeah. I gave him $10 for his troubles.
You did?
Of course. He didn't have to come up because of the fact that when I asked him, I said, "Do you see it on the screen?" He goes, "Yeah, I see it out there." He goes, I said, "Can you go and check for me?" He goes, "Yeah, no problem." He even left his post. He came out here and checked to see if it was wet, and he grabbed the bag and took it inside. And he goes, "I'll put it in the back so nobody touches it."
So somebody touched it because the underwear wasn't sticking out.
How do you know? We don't even know.
Sweetie.
Okay, but it doesn't matter. They probably wanted to look what's inside and saw underwear and went, "Okay, no." Or he was really brave and he went put
And
his
what's
nose.
this?
I don't know.
Anyway, somebody must have gone.
Someone probably went, "Oh, that's actually a garbage. Here, we'll put it there."
Yeah.
That's probably what it is.
Somebody
You're
probably
so
thought
lucky,
it was,
baby.
Yeah, it was garbage. But
No.
thank God.
No, yeah. Give God the praise.
Thank God that I got my bag. You know why we came back for it? Because we also bought souvenirs from Yukon and some brand new clothes that we bought I bought for the trip. So it was very, very hard to like say, okay, forget it. You know, that's a lot of clothes. I'm gonna show you how much clothes. So it's
about this. Yeah.
That's a lot of clothes.
They don't do the credit card in the machine.
Oh. Yeah. And plus, it's my souvenir bag from Yorkville University as well. And it's kind of hard to part with sentimental stuff. So, yeah, it's one of those things where I'm so grateful that we have the opportunity to come back and get this bag of clothes. So that's our story. You know, we really had to go through this endeavor, and it's not easy, but we give God thanks for that. Yeah. Oh, you're the guy. Thank you. So that's the guy who got my bag. So yeah, I give God thanks. So guys, we always have a story to tell. I don't know, it just seems like there was always something on our trip, and there's more stuff that we haven't said yet, but we'll talk about it in another video. And I just want to give you guys a little bit of trivia question. I don't know if you can see in the background, it says, what kind of cat teaches college classes? I'm not going to give you the answer, so I hope you guys get the answer for that. So again, the trivia is, what kind of cat teaches college classes? And it's for you to find out. Okay, well, ciao. We'll talk. As usual, we say, let's keep it real. Yeah, there's my husband coming back. Sweetie,
Yes.
we always say, let's keep it real, but can we get any real than this?
No comment. No comment from the peanut gallery.
The peanut?
No, it's just an old saying.
Okay.
Those watching will understand.
Yeah. So as usual, we say, let's keep it real once again. Ciao. Say bye.
Bye.
Yeah, he's not
being extra.
He's being extra as usual. That's Mark
That's
for
what
you.
I do. Because I haven't had my go-go juice today, but now I got my go-go juice. 0 calories, lots of energy. It'll turn me from a nasty guy to a nice guy.
Well, I don't know about that, because
Yeah,
if he's
that's true. No,
nasty,
that's true. No,
I
that's
don't
true.
want to be with somebody who is nasty, because I'm very OCD.
Oh, God. What's wrong with these people?
Okay, ciao. Mwah. Bye. guess you can see from the background, you know where we are.
Yes, we're in a hotel in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Better known as our house.
Yeah, we finally made it home. And we came in this morning and it's been a crazy, tiring day after our ride. And as you saw in the other video, what happened, we had to turn around and we lost about 6 hours, sort of.
Okay, well, more than that. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, we didn't. We lost 6 hours in total because remember, we drove from Escanaba to the Sioux, then back to Escanaba. We weren't supposed to do that. So that's 6 hours.
Yeah, and the reason is because we forgot our bag at the gas station and we never get to explain the whole situation, what happened there. So we left the bag there, and when we reached Sault Ste. Marie.
Well, hold on. We didn't tell people why we left the bag there.
Okay.
We left the bag there. What we were doing was we were preparing ourselves to cross the border from Escanaba, Michigan to Sault Ste. Marie, Ontario. It was 3 hours, and I asked Michelle where our passports are, and she said they're in the tour pack inside the laptop bag, and I was like, okay, no problem. So we were getting gas one last time before we went into Ontario, and I said okay. So I opened up the tour pack and pulled out she has this great big huge like carrying bag, like kind of like a school bag, but it's a great big, not a school bag, sorry, like
laptop bag.
Like a shop. No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about where your clothes are. It's a great big rectangular bag, if you will.
Cloth bag.
Yeah, it's
like
a cloth bag.
Girls carry, yeah.
Sure. Anyways, I pulled it out, and a few things happened. I pulled it out, put it on the ground, and I put it right beside the fuel island. As we were doing that, and all in motion, all these things happened. I had a drink I had put down beside Michelle, and she kicked it over by accident, and so we got distracted and I was upset that my drink got all dumped over because I just got it, and then needless to say, within 30 seconds to a minute of that, a guy drove into the parking lot with a 1954 Jeep Willie, which I never knew they made Jeeps in the 50s. So we got all distracted by that. So long story short, we went over and we were obsessing about his truck and his Jeep.
But I went to the washroom first, and then I came out, and then I saw the truck, and I saw Mark talking about it. I'm like, whoa, what's that?
And we were all distracted. Our stuff was all sitting out on the in the gas island. And anyhow, we did all that, put it all back together, and I just simply said to Michelle, okay, we're good. Let's just get out of here, put the stuff away, put the stuff back. And we closed it all up and drove away. Thinking we had everything, and of course that was unlike us because we normally don't get distracted like that and stuff, and we normally do second and third checks just to make sure, like, when you're leaving a hotel, you check the room over several times just to make sure you didn't leave nothing. But we didn't do that, and as you already know, we went all the way there. I called, by God's grace, we were so lucky.
But when we arrived,
we got off the bike. And then Michelle said we were totally exhausted because it was late, and it's like, okay,
midnight.
let's just get the stuff and get out here and get in the hotel. And I went to get off and get my bag, and Michelle was like, where's my clothes? And I was like, what do you mean? You took them out? She goes, no, I didn't take them out. And I just stopped and thought. I went, oh my gosh, her clothes are at the gas station. And I was like, mercy, I don't know how. So we was like, I gotta go immediately. Went upstairs. We located. I remember that I had a receipt on my credit card of where the gas station was, because they had several gas stations at Escanaba. So we located the gas station, but it wasn't open till 5. So I knew already because it was on my mind, and I guess like most people, when you're obsessing about something in your mind, you're not going to sleep well. So I woke up at like 5 after 5 in the morning, and I looked at the thing, and it said that they were open on the GPS. So I called the guy. He said he had the bag. Believe it or not, it was still outside. And we got gas around, we got gas, let's just say for the sake of our conversation, around 8, 9 o'clock in the evening.
Yeah.
And nobody touched the bag. They closed shop at midnight. It sat there. And it's a huge bag. So it's not like someone wouldn't see it. People saw it, and he saw it in the morning. And when he came in, because he comes in at 5 o'clock in the morning, and then...
But he never thought anything of it.
Yeah, he just left it there, and then of course I phoned him, and he said, "Yeah, we have it." And he described it to me. I said, yes, that's our bag. We'll be there probably before noon today to pick it up. But before that, we were trying to surmise in our mind what is going to be the best plan of attack. First, we thought about shipping it, and from the U.S. back to our house. I was like, that's not going to work. It's just going to be a nightmare. And I just had to face the reality. I was obviously in my mind, I was avoiding having to drive 3 hours back. Bad enough to drive 3 hours back. I had to go into another country to go get it.
Yeah.
So that was crazy. So anyhow, that was the cusp. And then on top of that, we were trying to get up because we had to leave early, really early, because Michelle and I unfortunately had to go to a funeral to be supportive of friends of ours. Their father had passed away, so we didn't get any sleep. We rolled. We drove drove right into the night again. We got home around 12.
How many hours did we drive for?
Oh, it was a long day. We probably drove about 13, 14 hours, like driving time. Like it was a long day.
So we didn't reach home until midnight.
Yeah, midnight, 12. By the time we got into bed, it was like 1 o'clock in the morning, and we had to be up at 7, and we didn't get up
again to go.
We were dragging our knuckles for sure. So anyhow, we're rambling.
Yeah,
now, so.
And so what we wanted to say is, it's been a wonderful, wonderful experience, even with the highs and the lows. And we are so happy that you were able to watch our videos. There are so many things that we showed you in terms of our experiences. But, even when we show others, on our camera, the different things that we did, it still has, it doesn't do justice when you show a picture or a video here and there. It doesn't do justice for what the experience was really like in reality. It's like you're just kind of getting an overview of what it really is. And for those who are watching and supporting us, we appreciate you, and we hope that you have enjoyed everything that we have shared for this trip. We don't know when our next trip is going to be, and right now we're all biked out a bit because we were so sore.
We're biked out because we're finished. We're just gone. So I'm always biked out. I mean, it's like anything else. It's like being on a cruise ship. I could stay on a cruise ship for a long time, but once you get to that threshold, you're like, okay, I've had enough. I'm getting cabin fever. I need to get out of here. My trip is done. Let's just go home. And you're happy to be home. So we were happy to be home, and we'll obviously go. Wait till next year and go again and go somewhere different.
Yeah, but we'll do other things. We have plans to probably go on a cruise. Mm-hmm. We have plans to do a little bit of short trips. And even one of the things that we noticed that was going to be something that we would think of in the future is going to Edmonton, because one of our videos we showed you. Yeah, we said we're going to spend a weekend there and enjoy whatever is there.
Oh, you wanted to fly because we really didn't get to appreciate the whole West Edmonton Mall. We might, if we were lucky, we might have saw 10% of the whole. It's just so massive.
Much.
But that's not the reason we didn't. Pardon me. The reason we didn't see it isn't because we were tired or we just did. No, we didn't even go in there until the evening. And I was just, if you recall, I was just getting over being sick. So we literally just, Michelle said she always wanted to go, and she didn't want to leave the city without saying she at least made an attempt to go see a little bit of it. So we got to see some highlights in there, and I think we showed the videos from before.
Yeah, and also another thing that we found out about what's happening there is they have the dinner theater, which will be so fun to do. Like, we were thinking about that too. So we will consider that, and
we'll do that.
And we will share with you more. So we're so happy that we were able to do that. And today, Mark calculated the amount of kilometers and mileage conversion in what we have done. And if you can guess it, drum roll, how many kilometers do you think we covered in our trip this time around? Last year, how many kilometers did we do last year?
One way. In total, it was 15,600 kilometers, which translates into, if I did the math again.
That was last year or this year?
No, this time.
Oh,
Yeah, so this year I think it translated into just over 9,500 miles. Miles.
yeah.
So if anyone wants to understand what does that look like in distance, that's like basically going from, for the sake of our conversation, if we were just draw a line, it's like going from, for the sake of our conversation, New York to Los Angeles to New York. Yeah, hold on. New York to Los Angeles. Yeah, twice. So it'll be like New York to Los Angeles basically is 3,000 miles. Back to New York, back to LA. That's how I saw it. That's 9,000 miles right there. That's basically how far we traveled. And because we went all over the map, because we went from where we live all the way to Edmonton down. I can draw, I won't
So
bore you
I
with all the
could
details.
we could share. So we left our home. We live in Brampton. So we went from Brampton to Tobermory to Manitoulin Island to Manitoba
Oh,
to
hold on, we forgot one part of that. You missed it when we went. We did what you said, but you missed the most important part. The
what?
little caveat. We went from our home to Tobermory, but we got a ferry. We got on
Oh
the MS
yes.
Cheechamon, on
For
in
those who were
Tobermory.
watching, yeah.
Yeah, and then we went on a ferry. It's a 2-hour ferry ride up to Manitoulin Island, and then we rode the bike from Manitoulin Island.
To Manitoba.
Yeah, so
And then Manitoba we went
oh no,
to
we didn't go to Manitoba. We went from Manitou.
sorry,
No, no,
to
no,
Dryden.
no. Okay, we went from Manitoulin Island to Wawa.
Wawa,
And
right.
then we went to Wawa, from Wawa, Ontario to Dryden, Ontario. Then we went from Dryden, Ontario to Regina, Saskatchewan. Then we went from Regina, Saskatchewan to
No,
Edmonton.
you missed in
No,
Manitoba.
no, we didn't go anywhere in Manitoba. We didn't
No,
stay.
we just drove
I
through.
know that. I'm just
Okay.
telling them what cities,
Oh, where we
where
stopped.
we stopped.
Oh, okay, yeah,
So
yeah,
they just draw the line.
yeah.
Then we
Okay.
went from Regina to Edmonton, Edmonton to Jasper, Jasper down to basically a little town just Abbotsford in British Columbia. Then we went from there to Hope, all the way up to Prince George, British Columbia. Then we went from Prince George to Fort St. John, British Columbia. Then we went from Fort St. John, British Columbia, all the way to Watson Lake, Yukon. Then Watson Lake, Yukon, we made it to Whitehorse. Then we from Whitehorse, we went down into the southern peninsula in Skagway, Alaska. And then from Skagway, we went back to Watson Lake, and then we went south down from Watson Lake down to Smithers, British Columbia.
But before that, we went to Stewart
Well, we went to
Town.
Stewart. We stopped by there just to see the glacier. So we went down, which you guys already know because that's where we took the helicopter ride. And then we went from there to
Stewart to
Smithers.
Smithers.
Yep. And then from Smithers, we went to Jasper. And then from Jasper, that next day we went from Jasper through Banff down to Shelby, Montana. Then from Shelby, Montana, we went truck back. We went down to we went from Shelby, Montana to the Glacier National Park. We went over there. Then we liked it so much we stayed another day. Went back to Shelby, and then from Shelby went to Glendive, Montana. Glendive, Montana, we made it to Albertville, Minnesota. And then from Albertville, Minnesota, we went to the Sioux. And then from the Sioux, we had to go back to Escanaba, Michigan. And then we trekked through Michigan, did the UP there. Then we went down to the Southern Peninsula, and we crossed over at Sarnia, Ontario. And then once we crossed the Sarnia, then we went right back to the house.
So
All that to say, it's 15,600 kilometers
yes, guys. So
on a motorcycle.
on a motorcycle, and some people were asking, like, so how did you guys do all that? I said, well, we rode on a motorcycle. What? How did you guys do that? So it was quite a bit of a trek for us, and as you probably can tell too, there were days that we got sick, there were days that we got better. So first it was me, then it was Mark, and one of the things we did very well, we packed well this time around. But one of the things we didn't do well was in terms of the long hours that we drove on the road. Long
Well, in
hours. Yeah.
Michelle's defense, that wasn't. There's no we in that. There was more me. I didn't do a good job in managing our time. I could have done a better job, and it just simply out of inexperience. And not like I do this every day, all year round. I mean, but in reality, what we have to remember, or not we again, what I have to remember is the thing is that we were trying to do best of, well, I guess more me than anything, because as anyone who really knows anything about me, I try to stay healthy and go to the gym and so on and so on. So we weren't getting up at 5 a.m. so to speak, and get on the bike and go trekking up. We would literally get up, do our thing. Well, and by the way, we never set an alarm ever. We never set an alarm, which is
Maybe
fine.
a couple of times we did.
We did. I don't
Yeah,
know.
the time when we were going to, we wanted to get up early in the morning to leave early that one time.
Well, okay, for the most part.
And then when we went to get the bag, 2 times we set the
Okay, well, I
alarm.
mean, but in the general rule of thumb,
Yeah, but
in the 3 weeks we were gone, we didn't set
yeah.
alarms. But my point is that our days were elongated by working out, we started getting a routine. Our routine was we got up, had breakfast. Well, actually, I would get up and go work out. I didn't work out 7 days a week by no stretch of the
I work
imagination.
out some days, but not every day.
I worked out, for the sake of our conversation, every 2 or 3 days, depending on what hotel we'd be at and so on. But my point is that we never set alarms. Often we would be shocked because we would riding so many hours. But I'm getting off topic. The topic is that when you're riding a motorcycle, it's one of the things is you don't, if you can help it, for obvious reasons, you don't want to be out when it's dark. Especially geographically where we were. Bad enough, let's just say you're on some major highway in the dark. It's not great, but it's not the worst. But when you're in remote mountainous areas, I mean, just do the math. I mean, there are bears, moose,
As you can
deer.
see in some of the videos.
Oh gosh, yeah, and that's in the daytime. But I mean, what I'm getting at, and then add in bad weather, rain, sleet, because it's cold out in Alaska and the Yukon, and then add in fog and all that stuff. It is absolutely dangerous on a bike. And there were several nights when when I extended, and the reason why was we wanted to accomplish so many X amount of kilometers. But what we would find is, instead of getting up like, I don't know, like everybody else that would plan it, we wouldn't be up at we didn't really have much drive to get up at 6 and 7 o'clock in the morning, because we never went to bed at 9 o'clock at night. We were always going to bed at 12, 1, 2 in the morning, because we were always up late. And getting to the point, it's just that, so when we did leave, for the sake of our conversation, hypothetically, if we said, oh, how far is it to Shelby, Montana? Oh, it's 874 kilometers. Well, that doesn't sound like a lot of kilometers, but if you do the math, that's for the sake of our conversation. I'm just making the numbers up. If it's 900 kilometers and we're leaving at noon or 11 o'clock, that's straight driving. Well, number one, you can't drive 9 hours on a motorcycle. You need gas. So I only average about 200 miles, or in kilometers, that would just average out to about 350 kilometers. So we had to stop basically every 3 hours. So not
And plus, you have to also consider riding on a bike.
Oh,
You're
yeah.
positioned in a certain way. Your
You
legs
need
are
to
in
stretch.
position.
So we were stopping. So you might as well add on another 2 hours to that 9. So you're looking at about 11 hours. So you can see where I'm going with the math. So in other words, if you really want to be early risers and do big days, you can do big. And there's nothing wrong with doing big days and leaving later if you're prepared for what it is. But it's bad enough I'd be on my own and risking myself. But I have my wife with me. I don't want to have that on my conscience, saying a deer ran out in front of us and I had to swerve and crash the bike, or the deer. You can go online and watch people get hit by deer or moose, and especially on a bike, and it just wouldn't be pretty. And so anyways, that's what ends up happening. So we were leaving the hotel at 11, 12 o'clock, and going forward next year, I'm going to definitely plan better and actually decrease the amount of mileage we're going to do. We're going to really make an effort to be in our hotel by 6, 7 o'clock in the summertime, of course, so it's not really dark out, and that's it.
And if we are intending to go, for the sake of our conversation, a big day tomorrow, 10 hours. Well, then we're getting up at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, having our breakfast, getting out of there by 8 o'clock, so that by 6, 7 o'clock we're at our place. No dark, no rain, and that's another thing to consider too. And that's another thing what we ran
Weather.
into. The weather was not great at all in the Pacific Northwest. West. It wasn't, and we didn't anticipate it to be that cold. I mean, I
Not
didn't.
in July.
Yeah, we didn't. I mean, granted. I mean, people will say, "Hello, it's Alaska, the Yukon." Okay, yeah, granted, I understand that, but I didn't expect it to be 38 Celsius, or for you Americans, 90 degrees Fahrenheit every day. But I didn't expect it to be, when you're on the bike, 32 degrees Fahrenheit, which is 0 in Celsius. That's on a bike in the middle of summer. So I wouldn't say we learned the hard way, but we definitely learned that if you're going to go to the Pacific Northwest, it doesn't matter what point, make sure you're dressed. We were dressed appropriately in a sense where we had multiple layers. But one thing we did learn, well, mostly I brought it up to Michelle, is that, we've yet to spend the money on expensive gear. We have just basic stuff, jackets and some hoodies and some liners and some thermals. We don't really have any expensive gear. So this year,
We're gonna have to buy some.
we're going to buy the good stuff, and we're not going to have to worry about it, because when you're riding around, you can buy the expensive stuff and you don't have to put on 14 layers like we have. You can put on one layer or maybe two, like a thermal shirt, and that's all you need. Period. And it's, number one, it's waterproof. Number two, it's warm. Number three, it's perfect. And you're not super bulky, like you're walking around like a snowman with 18 jackets on, and it's done. Your neck's sore because you got so many things. You can't turn your helmet. But that's just us, like, not just, I guess it's just going with the basics. So that's one thing we certainly are going to capitalize on next season. We're going to have the proper
gear, yeah. And so we learn a lot from our experience so far, and we came down from last year where we didn't pack right, or we had a different.
No, we didn't. We packed right.
No,
but we didn't
like,
expect it to be snowing in Newfoundland. Like,
no,
what is
I
going?
I meant that last year, one of the things we learned is how we pack our clothes.
Oh, the literally packing the bike. Yeah, we had it. We had it. I'll give it credit to us, and we actually packed really good this time.
And so we're also going to get some better equipment for putting clothes in, so that when it rains,
we had a good.
Some of the videos you probably saw that we had to cover the bike with plastic bags.
Well, we didn't have to cover the bike. We covered, I had my one duffel bag that I had strapped to the tour pack, which that's what it's for, right? Mm-hmm. But Harley-Davidson, you don't have to necessarily get from Harley-Davidson, but there are duffel bags and things like that you can attach to the that are designed to attach a tour bag, and they're waterproof.
Yeah.
So we'll have that next year. It'll cost probably a pretty penny, but
yeah.
And by the way, anybody who does watch these videos and it is a rider and is a seasoned rider, and they know of some options for us in regards to gear, don't be afraid to put in the comments. Go to this link or go to that link or go on Amazon.
So we're still amateur in what we're doing. We're just learning every year what we could do better. And so if you have any comments or advice, we would accept whatever you have to say, and we'll look into it. But definitely it has been quite a good experience, quite exhilarating, and I would say it really topped what we did last year.
Oh yeah, it's going to be hard. Just the scenery alone and all that stuff, it's going to be pretty hard to top that. But then again, we're considering next year potentially going to the Grand Canyon on the bike. So that's going to
How many weeks would we need for that?
Well, the same. It's just 3 weeks. Yeah, every year is going to be the same for 3 weeks. But we're not. If we have the mentality that we're going to quote unquote top it, then we're not going to be happy, because once you do the Pacific Northwest and see that kind of like just unbelievable scenery, and then go southwest into the desert and see all the red rock and the beautiful scenery in the desert, like you're on the same plane in a sense of of mountaintop experiences, for lack of better words. And so we're not going to try to top ourselves. We're just going to continue to explore. And
But you know what? One other thing I have learned to appreciate is the fact that beauty is it's in everything, and we need to appreciate.
yeah,
the
everybody has who, we were
Yeah.
even talking to one of our friends that, not really a friend, it's an acquaintance that rides also. And she had mentioned she was going on about some places she had been that we absolutely thought were unbelievably spectacular. And she poo-pooed the idea. She's like, nah, did nothing for me. I was really disappointed. I'm like, what? But so all that, I say all that just to say that not everybody's perspective is the same. Some people can, for the sake of conversation, go to Disneyland and say Disneyland's boring. There's nothing to do there. I'm like, what? Disneyland's amazing. Look at all the rides and this place and stuff. But everybody's perspective is different. It's like going to vacation. Some people love going vacation in the Caribbean and think it's amazing. Other people would find it just boring and redundant. Other people would find, a staycation, if you will. Staying home would be better than going there. Everyone's perspective is different. But anyway, we're rambling now. We're at 26 minutes, so.
Yeah, so that was just a recap of what we went through on our trip, and we're so happy that you could join us. And we also shared in this video what we have learned, what we are looking forward to next year, and some things that we're going to change. And like I said, if we have already said this, if you think of anything or if you know of anything that we could do better, just let us know, and we will definitely incorporate that, whether it's our videos or even some of the information in terms of traveling.
Oh
That
yeah,
would definitely
yeah. On a
help.
side note, if you guys are that travel on bikes, if you, I mean, we certainly have not. I mean, I personally have been everywhere there is to be in North America, in regards to geographics, but not necessarily on a bike. I've traveled everywhere in a truck, but I mean that's a very broad statement. But I mean, like, you'll never be able to do it all. And the reason I say that is this: if you have ideas of good places, of really interesting places to go, or certain things to do, don't be afraid to put them in the comments and say you went here on the bike or there on the bike, and this is what this is what you saw, this is what you experienced, or so on and so forth, or even little other cool information. Like, hey, when you go to Albuquerque, New Mexico, make sure you stay at this hotel because it's amazing and it does this and we has
Yeah.
that, and so on and so forth. But anyway, guys, on that note, we shall say as we always do,
Let's keep it real.
bye.
Bye. Ciao.